Welcome back, everyone. Excited to jump into another video today. We're doing another budget university. We're going to make this a good series. So if you have any budget scenarios that you would like me to run through, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Yeah, we'll keep it anonymous and it'll just be between us. I'll ask you some basic questions. You can send me some info and we'll do a scenario, another video on your own. Because I want to make these different. I want to make them apply to different people. So if you have your own situation, you're not a single person, you're not a single bro, you're not a single lady, let me know and we can do something different. Today's scenario is going to be a single lady. She is 25 years old. She has a graduate degree, so pretty sweet. She's got both an undergrad and a graduate degree, and she's got a decent job, making pretty good money. So we're going to jump into her specifics, her expenses, her debt, etc., and see how we can make her situation improve and get her well on her way to her financial freedom. So we've got Lena. She goes by Amber. She makes $3,000 a month. This is after taxes, so we're in a good situation here. For a single person making $3,000, it's actually their take-home pay, what they see in their paycheck each month. Not bad. So let's go over her expenses. Oh, and it should be mentioned, she does have $8,000 in cash. She's got $3,000 in savings, $5,000 in checking. So that's a great cash cushion. Love that. Big fan of the cash cushion she's built up. So we're going to go ahead and leave that alone. Just leave it as is. So she brings home $3,000 a month, and she's got $8,000 in cash. So let's jump on in. First thing, she does pay a really good amount to charity. She's all the way up to 10%. So every single month, she's going ahead and spending $300 a month in charity. Love that. We're not going to touch that. We're going to leave that as is. Her rent and utilities total $650 a month. So clearly, not living by herself. I'm sure she has a roommate. That's a good situation. Only spending $650 a month for both rent and utilities. Solid setup. So $300 a month in charity, $650 in rent and utilities, and then the other basic necessities: food, gas, insurance, phone, gyms, etc. All of that totals up to just $470 a month. We can round up, we can say $500. So $500 a month for all the other basic living necessities. That includes going out to restaurants too. That's not just rice and beans, and that's not just her grocery bill. That's also going out to eat a couple times a week. So pretty decent there. So we're at about $1,400, $1,500 here for charity, rent, and just life. Food, car, insurance, phone, etc. Basics. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, just living life. And yeah, a few restaurants here and there, but again, nothing extravagant. We're not talking about going out and partying hard on the weekends or anything like that. Now let's jump into the debt situation. It's not terrible. Debt is debt, so it's never fun, but honestly, not too bad of a situation. So she has $18,000 in student debt. Again, she got herself an undergrad degree and a graduate degree. 18 grand sounds like a pretty solid number to have both degrees under her belt, and $8,000 in her car. So she's got herself $26,000 in debt total. Not the worst scenario considering she's pretty young. She's only 25 years old and she got herself 2 degrees, so I wouldn't complain about it. Her payments for these loans are $250 for her car and $150 for the student debt. And so in total she's got, $400? $400 a month in debt. So when you add all this up, again, we got a nice, solid charity contribution. I love seeing that because what's the point of making money if you're not helping other people out? Especially right now, it's 2020. We know a lot of people are in hard situations. If you're not reaching out to others, what's the point of all this? What's the point? If you're just living for yourself, that's boring, it's old, it's not interesting. We got to be given to charity, so I love this. This is awesome. This can't be commended enough. 10%, that's a really, really high percentage of her monthly take-home that she's given to charity, and that's a beautiful thing. That tells me this is a good person, good morals, and I love that. So she's helping out other people, and overall, we're in a good situation. She's bringing home $3,000 a month, and this totals all of life, all of her rent, her debt, everything is $1,920 a month. So as you can see here, we've got $1,000 extra every single month that's coming home that she can do whatever she wants with. She could go after her debt with it. She could go on vacations. I mean, $12,000 a year, a single person, that's going to get you some pretty sweet vacations. So what do we want to do here? First things first, she is not contributing to her 401k even though her employer does offer a match. So again, 401k, your basic retirement program, and when your employer offers a match, that's the first thing you got to do, because I don't care what we're doing to invest, what we're doing as far as paying off debt, your 401k, that is free money if your company is matching it. So whether it's a 50% match or 100% match, either way, it's a killer rate that you'll never get anywhere else. So the first things first, I would say start contributing to your 401k, and we'll say $100 a month. So we've got another $900 a month. What do we want to do with it? So after this, again, we got to start contributing to our 401k. So we got about $900. We're doing a little rounding. I think she'll have a little bit more than that. But we'll just say a few extra things come up. She spends a few extra bucks. She's got another $900 a month that she can use for whatever she wants. First of all, again, this $8,000 cash cushion, I love that because her total expenses are $2,000 a month, including charity on money she's making. So if anything goes wrong, if her car needs a big repair, if something goes wrong and her landlord all of a sudden needs more money from her, or whatever, I don't know, she definitely has the money for any type of expense. So even if you get a car repaired at $1,000, no problem, not even a drop in the bucket. So that's awesome. And then in another scenario, right, the real way to measure how much your cash cushion is what if you lose your job right now, what continues on? So no income, we're going to go ahead and say no charity. We're going to say charity is based on actually making money and giving the percentage of your money every single month. So all of a sudden this actually drops to about $1,600. And so we've got 5 months of money saved up. We could live for 5 more months just based on cash. If we don't earn a single dollar, she doesn't take any part-time job, she doesn't do Uber Eats or anything like that. She just lost her job and she's not spending a dime. Or maybe she wants to go on a sabbatical or whatever. I wouldn't go on a sabbatical and drain your account to absolute zero, but you get the point. If she loses her job, kind of worst case scenario here, she can still live for 5 more months with just her cash cushion. I love that. I wouldn't touch that. I'd leave that right where it is. Move it all to savings. It was split between checking and savings. Just move it all to savings and leave that as is. That's beautiful. That's awesome. If you maybe want to put a couple $1,000s into a bond, you could. I like just having a good solid cash cushion. It's good peace of mind. It's a good way to live your life knowing, hey, there's cash here if I need it, but I'm not going to touch it except for a true emergency. So I love that. So what do we do with the extra $900 a month? I would put a lot of it towards debt. I would say we want to do at least double our car payment so we can get rid of this car and get the title to ourselves. Now, I don't know all the rates of all these loans. It's possible some of her student loans have higher interest rates, but we're just going to say student loans are their own thing. Mentally, I just don't want to, I know it's going to take me, hopefully not the full 10 years, but we'll say 5 years. We'll pay them off faster, maybe 3 years, something like that. But it's not going to be the full 10 years, but student loans are their own thing. But I want to get my car in my own name. I want to own my car. So I'd say let's knock this out first. And I would at least double my payment to paying $500 a month. So let's just go ahead and make some round even numbers. Let's just say $300. So that's another 10% that she's putting towards her debt. And now she's going to be paying off a lot faster. So that's what? $550 a month. So that's going to take about 16 months, about a year and 4 months. And actually, now saying that and saying a year and 4 months, I want to change that and I just want to say, hey, I'm going to knock out my car in a year. So that way, a year from now, my car is my own. So if we got $8,000 left and we want to pay that off in 12 months, that's going to be $666 a month. And so let's just say $650. So she's going to pay an extra $400 a month towards her car. Okay, so we bumped that up quite a bit. We said we're going to double it to $250, and then we're going to say now an extra $400. So overall, we are putting quite a bit towards our debt. So instead of being 3 years, that's what's left on this loan. We got 3 years left on the term. We're going to say forget that. We're doing $666 a month. So an extra $400 a month. That still puts us at having $500 left that we can do whatever we want with. That's discretionary at this point. So yes, we could absolutely throw all of our money at our debt. That's a really aggressive plan, obviously, and if you want to do that, great. I'm definitely not going to stop you. You're already going to vacations, you have a gym, you have a good lifestyle, you're hanging out with your friends. I said vacations. You're already going to restaurants. If you just want to say, hey, I'm really going to tighten the belt, and I'm going to put all that extra $900 a month towards my debt, that's awesome. You're going to crush this debt. I mean, that means this is gone in what? 7, 8 months, something like that. That would mean in total, you're putting $1,300 a month towards your debt. You got 26 grand, 1,300, was that 20 months? So less than 2 years paying off all your debt, your student loans. You could definitely do that. Not gonna stop you, love that plan. If you don't wanna do it as aggressively, you can still be putting an extra $400 a month towards your car, and you're paying this thing off in a year. And then you can roll that $400, well really it's gonna be $650, because you got your car payment, right? So you're gonna take your $250 from your car payment, and your $400 for your car, and throw that extra $650 in addition to the $150. So now, what is that? $800 a month going towards your student debt a year from now? That's pretty slick. That's pretty slick. I like that plan a lot. So I would definitely do a minimum $400 extra a month, and that still leaves you $500 in extra, whatever you want to do with it. $500 extra a month is pretty slick considering the following. That's putting extra towards our debt. That's definitely giving a really generous amount to charity. We got our rent, we got all our life expenses, and we still have this $8,000 for any type of emergencies or anything like that. So this is a good plan to get us out of debt pretty quickly in just a few years, and it still allows $500 a month for a single person. That means you could be going to Europe. I mean, for a single person, you go to Europe for what, $1,000? Yeah. I mean, obviously travel right now is restricted, everything like that, but I mean, you could be going to Japan, whatever you want to do. $1,000 is a decent budget, or maybe you want to go every 3 months, and then boom, just like that, you're going to Europe every 3 months or whatever, international travel every 3 months on $500 that you're saving. That's pretty slick while you're still paying down your debt pretty aggressively. And you have this cash cushion. Or that's a lot of travel, I get it. Maybe you're not going on vacation every 3 months. Maybe you don't have the PTO for that. But you can be doing whatever you want. You can be saving that. You can be throwing extra at debt. One thing you could do is just once a month, if you're a little bored, just throw some dice, pick the number, multiply it by 10, and then pay that towards your debt. Whatever you want to do, right? So then sometimes it's an extra $20, sometimes it's an extra 12 months. On average, it's going to be an extra $70 a month that you're throwing at your debt. That's pretty sweet, right? You can do whatever you want. You can make little games out of this. You can do different things to say, hey, I'm going to make sure I'm paying off my debt while still having fun, still vacationing, or paying it off even more aggressively. Whatever you want. There's a few different options here. I'd say at minimum, we want to throw the $100 at the 401k. That's no question. $400 at your debt, starting with your car. Get that title in your own name. Feel proud. Know when you drive your car that's your own. You earned this. You paid for it. You did this yourself. And then you still have that extra $500 to do whatever you want with. I would recommend saving some of it. Obviously, it always feels good to just be in the habit of always saving. Yes, you could look at your $400 a month as you're saving and saying, once my debt is gone, then I'm going to be saving that $800, right? Again, $400 plus the payments of your auto loan and your student loan. So then that's $800 a month you could be saving, and right now it's going to debt because you already have cash cushion. Or it's always nice to just be in the habit of saving a little extra, to know every single month I transfer more money into my savings account and it never gets smaller. That account only gets bigger. Love that feeling. It really feels really good. So maybe you throw $100 into savings a month. Again, I would say save more than that, but because we're paying down debt so aggressively, you don't necessarily have to, and you already have that saved. So throw an extra $100 a month in saving. You got $400. You got vacations twice a year, not 4 times a year, and you can still throw extra money at debt. And you know, the occasional gift, the occasional party, whatever you want to do, you still have money for it. So honestly, to sum this up, I'd say we're in a really good situation. The extra $1,000 a month, living on 2/3 of your income, is really, really good. I love that percentage. Most people are living at that financial red line. If they're not spending more money than they are, they're spending just about as much money as they make. Really stressful way to live. You can see when those are the numbers, it's too tight, it's too difficult. When we have to begin with, this is the key. This is what made this situation so good, and why we can pay off debt so aggressively and still save and still vacation, is because the monthly average, the monthly continuous expenses, is already at 66% of the total income. So that's the big takeaway here. That's why this is such a good situation, because every single month she's just used to spending way less than she makes. It's a crazy idea. It's been a tale as old as time. One of the oldest stories on how to make good money is to save what you get, to spend less, to live within your means. And if you want to grow your means and increase your wealth, you can do that. So Amber, best of luck to you. Love the situation we're in. You're doing a great job. Love the charity you're giving. Love the extra cash cushion that you have saved up. And this big gap here, the extra $1,000 a month, that's what you have here to make this plan so successful, where you can pay off your debt aggressively and still have a good lifestyle while you're doing it. See you next time, everyone.